Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin, and I want to discuss COSM and what happened today. Those of you that aren't aware, COSM announced an offering. So we are going to discuss that in this video. Please smash that like button as it helps out with the algorithms, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, guys, please remember that nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD, and a reminder, in case you haven't seen my previous videos, if you are going to play COSM, I am highly speculative on the amount of institutional corruption that there appears to be in this ticker. Guys, anything that retail is heavily invested in trading in, you better believe that manipulation is occurring. And I'm sorry, this is my personal opinion, but it's based on the facts that I've been gathering for many years. And guys, I do not trust a single thing that happens in the stock market. So as good as something seems, expect the opposite, which is why I was not so bullish going into today. And I think I was very vocal on that. My only hope standing was that there were no shares left to borrow, but boom, you see what happened. An offering came out, and it's my guess that the sell-off after hours was because they knew that this was coming. So we didn't, but they did. You know what? Somebody always knows something, and it seems like there's a leak somewhere that gets things out. But anyways, guys, that being said, let's continue moving forward and see what's happening. Okay, guys, if you were to look at the daily chart, you would notice that we printed what is called an inside bar, and it is actually bullish. So that being said, I sure hope that we see some movement to the upside in this stock tomorrow for those of you that are still in this play. Now, an update for you. I did take this picture after hours, but it did actually go up a few more cents prior to close. It's at $7.10. So if we took it from Friday's high down to today, it was a 67.23% decline with an additional 5.84% decline in after hours. Now, guys, what I'd like to see is for this stock to start slowly building back up and making supports along the way. The problem with what happened on Friday is it basically went straight up, slowly throughout the day and didn't really build any levels of support and resistance. And we need to do that in order to maintain our gains. Now, here's the article that broke. Oh, before I show you that, I just want to show you what the inside bar looks like. See how this candle is completely inside, not the wicks, but the actual body of the larger candle. And I'm sorry, my pointer doesn't work. So I'm looking at the last two candles. The last one being the red one is completely engulfed by the prior day's candle body. So guys, that is actually a bullish candle. So hopefully we see a move to the upside tomorrow. Again, I repeat, do not invest money in this stock. You cannot afford to lose. And it's not my thoughts on the company that are making me say that. It's my thoughts on the stock market and the amount of distrust that I have in them to do anything that's legit. I mean, clearly it's obvious that when a stock trades 20 times its float in a single day or more, 18 times, whatever the heck it was, guys, maybe even a lot more than that, because we traded what, 120 million shares. I mean, assuming that 7.7 was the correct number, million shares, which Webull today says it's much less. In fact, it says that the free float is only 53.47 thousand. I think, guys, that they are missing some of the offerings. Either that, or was that 7.7 based on the numbers of today's offering? I mean, I guess it's possible if you look at the shares outstanding are a total of 3.35 million. But remember, a lot of those are owned by the CEO. So, I mean, I don't know. As far as the offering goes, let's talk about that. And I'm going to make this video very quick. So, Cosmos Health stock tumbles weighted down by 32.5 million registered direct offering. Now, guys, usually a direct offering is better than an indirect offering, just to give you that clarity. But no matter what, when it's a retail stock, they take it as a bad thing. So it says, after nearly tripling on reverse stock split Friday, executives announced stock offering on Monday. But guys, what they don't feel to like make a headline is that the CEO once again was investing in this stock. Watch. Cosmos Health Inc. stock pulled back Monday after the company announced the pricing of a 32.5 million registered direct offering, wiping away Friday's big gains. No, guys, that's not what wiped away Friday's big gains. The manipulation after hours is what wiped away Friday's big gains. But continuing on, the Chicago-based pharmaceutical company has entered into agreement with institutional investors for the purchase and sale of 2,828,320 shares of its common stock in the offering, and warrants to purchase up to 2,828,320 common shares in a concurrent private placement. The combined purchase price for one share of common stock and one warrant will be $11.50, the announcement said. Guys, $11.50. So, in my opinion, we should at least be trading around that, right? But we're not. Now, moving forward. Gross proceeds from the offering, which is expected to close on or around December 21st, will be approximately $32.5 million. The company's CEO, Gregorios Tsiolkos, and forgive me if I'm butchering your name, it's not intentional, and existing shareholders are participating in the offering. Again, I repeat, the company's CEO, Gregorios Tsiolkos, and existing shareholders are participating in the offering, which means, guys, they're the ones buying some of these shares. So they're helping to raise capital that this company very much needs to continue going forward. And it's not like they sold these to, well, I'm sure some of them probably went to an institution. But to be perfectly honest, with the share count as low as it is, they needed to not only raise capital to meet the, they have to keep their shares trading above the NASDAQ $35 million market cap, right? Or I think it's $35 million market cap. But in order to stay listed. So with the shares currently at the small float that we had, it was very possible that it fell below that or would not maintain that price. So this helps to ensure that it does. So I'm going to look at that as a positive. And I'm also going to look at the fact that the CEO is buying more, guys, at a price of $11 and change that I just announced, $11.50, right? So if you think that that's negative, it's not. I see that as being positive because, first of all, there's way too many naked shares out there because there's not enough shares of the stock to meet the demand. So it's going to help with that situation. Clearly, the demand is still coming in because today we traded 35.28 million shares. Guys, on what Webull claims is a 53.47 thousand free float. How is that even possible? All right, guys, let's just say that, go back and look at these numbers. All of these 2.828320, now add those up and let's just, for the sake of math, say 5.65 million, okay? If you add, let's say that they exercise every warrant in every share, 5.65 million, right? And add it to the current outstanding shares that they claim on here, which, assuming that this is right, 9. That leaves us with 9 million shares. Now, if the 7.7 million that the company had said in that email that I told you about in my previous video to one of my followers is correct, if it was 7.7 and you add 5.6, that is still a very small float, right? 7 and 5 is 12. 7.7 is 13.2 million shares, roughly. If I did that right, forgive me, I'm getting tired. But anyways, whether or not it's 9 million, 12 million, the point is this float is very small. And most of that's not even part of the free float because the CEO's shares don't count towards the free float because he's not just buying and selling them, guys. Usually those are not included in the free float, which is why you see right now that the shares outstanding are 3.35 million with a free float of 53.47 thousand, which I think is inaccurate. I don't think they added in some of the other capital raises they've done. But anyways, enough about that. My point is that not all funding is bad. This helps serve a purpose for more than one thing, guys. And people are asking me when I think that we can start to see a move to the upside. Well, guys, if people start and think and do the reality of the situation, it could actually happen as early as tomorrow. But who knows? Market makers might try to play with it a little bit more. What I would say is more than likely would be a bigger move when they announce the closing of this offering on or about December 21st. So when you see the headline come out that this offering has been closed, I would expect to see a nice little boom boom candle start to form and potentially a nice move higher. Now, again, I told you, shorts don't have to cover, and please don't believe the FUD that's being spread. The only time a short absolutely has to cover, guys, is A, because they choose to, because they're getting defeated or they don't want to lose the money that they've gained, just like if you sell your position long because you made your expectation. That could be why. But then again, they don't have to cover. They choose to cover. The only times they have to cover is if they're getting margin called. So unless they're getting margin called, guys, which in this case, maybe they were when it was up at $23, but down where it is right now, I highly doubt it. I don't know their situation. Again, I can't confirm or deny that, but I'm telling you, please don't believe the FUD that's out there. I try to be as honest and transparent as I can be and tell you my thoughts. I'm human, I make mistakes, but this time I really don't think that I am making any mistake in regards to the fact that shorts are not required to close. There's so much FUD out there and it drives me crazy because they lead people to believe things that just aren't true. The COSM change, like I stated, does not mean they have to close their short positions, guys. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Anyways, going forward, technically candle-wise, it looks very bullish regarding that inside candle. However, who knows? Because if there's shares available to borrow, these shorts are going to try to milk this and get it as low and get as many shares as they possibly can, guys, because they do need shares because they have their T+2 settlement for some of these shares and then T+35 for the ones that they failed to deliver on. So they're going to be running into problems. Retail has a huge opportunity here, but I'm going to repeat that opportunity will take time to build. And I do not believe that retail in this current environment has a lot of patience. This stock could absolutely, in my opinion, pull a GME. It is in a very rare situation where there are still not a whole lot of shares versus the amount of shares that were sold. And I believe the amount of naked shorting is probably to levels that we can't even fathomly conceive, to be very honest with you from what I see statistically. I have no way to prove that. I can just tell you my thoughts. That being said, though, the problem that I see is that retail investors are not the same as they were with that ape diamond hand mentality a couple years ago. Now, guys, I do not believe that people should diamond hand every stock. I believe that that leads to losses because while they're diamond handing, there's people manipulating and taking advantage of them and dumping on them. You saw it with AMC. You saw it with GME. Now, do those still have a lot of potential? Maybe. I don't know. The market's changed. I think a lot of them have become frustrated and sold whether they told you they did or not. I'm just being honest with you. However, I believe there are still those diamond hands out there, but I don't think there's nearly as many as there were. And that's what I see in COSM. I see a huge opportunity. However, I think that retail will kill it on themselves because I don't think they have the ability to hold and let the play out. I hope that they prove me wrong, but I'm just telling you what I've seen in the past several months. I've seen a lot of good opportunities shape up. I see another one right now with SMMT. If you haven't seen that video, I highly suggest you check it out. An amazing opportunity there because insiders own 92% or 90%, 90%. I think it's 90%, and institutions own 2%. So that means retail only owns 7%. With that kind of ownership, guys, of institutions, of insiders owning 90%, just like with COSM, there's a golden opportunity there. But again, look at that chart today, what it did. It was ripping. It was up from $3.30 something cents all the way up to $5.40, I think was its high today. And then it pulled all the way back down $1. I said it needed to consolidate. I didn't say I needed to dump. But guys, this is what I mean. People don't have that ability, that ability to hold when things are moving, and they see it dip and they get scared and they sell. And guys, stocks don't go straight up. They need to have pullbacks. They need to have consolidation. You know, I really believe that it can rip again tomorrow. Same with this one. But the whole thing that I can't control and I can't tell you, the part that's going to happen is what retail chooses to do with their position. And again, I'm not trying to tell you to buy. I'm not trying to tell you to sell. I'm not trying to tell you to hold. That's the decision that only you can make. What I'm saying here is a fact of a matter of what it would take for COSM to really move. And guys, a short squeeze scenario doesn't happen in a day or two in general. Could it? Sure, anything's possible. If there's enough buying pressure coming in, it absolutely could squeeze out the shorts. But guys, in general, this takes time to build up. But in that time, if you're accumulating and building more and others are doing the same, then it could create a magnificent opportunity. So I don't know what's going to happen in this stock. I can only tell you my thoughts and my reason behind it. I wish anybody in this play a lot of luck, and I hope that, you know, it really does take off. Same thing if you're in SMMT. I want you all to make a lot of profits here. So anyways, guys, you know, that being said, I hope that that was helpful. Comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear them and let me know. Show me a diamond if you think that people still have it in them to be diamond handed and let this run. You know, or, you know, comment, I don't know, a gun if you think that retail's going to shoot themselves in the foot and sell off before they have a chance to make it run. I'm curious on your opinion, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a great night.